Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you game 1 of a best of 5 between Gonzo and Onord in the grand final of Season 7 of the Star Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Slutsk East, and on our left in the red team playing on the Allied side using the 97th Guards Rifles we have Gonzo, and he's using the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team, playing on the Axis side, we have Onord using the 12th SS and the Maverick deployment type. So, what are your first thoughts here, Attack Bar?
So these are two really solid divisions for 1v1. 12th doesn't see as much play. It's a little tougher of a division to use. Its infantry are all fanatical, which is one of its best traits, is basically your infantry are never surrendering. So Gonzo's going to have to work to kill his infantry. And they do have a good spattering of heavy armor, which on Slutsk should do quite well. You know, there's a lot of open ground on this map. It's going to give him a little bit of room to use that heavy armor and hopefully let it shine. On Gonzo's side here, 97th, another solid division from the Allied side. A good bit of off-map and things. IS-2s for his armor, along with a few T-34-85s. He's going to be leaning on those IS-2s to kind of counter Onord's, Panthers and other heavy armor that way. His infantry are basically standard Soviet infantry, so they probably will struggle a little bit against the fanatical infantry of the 12th. So it should be an interesting matchup. I am interested to see how Onord and Gonzo trade off armor-wise, because truthfully his Panthers are going to struggle against the IS-2s at range. But if they can get closer, they definitely have the punch power to kill them.
Yeah, I think in Slutsk there is plenty of opportunity to find side shots there because the map is so open. So unless Gonzo has the opportunity to get multiple IS-2s on the map, I feel like they can be picked off by the Panthers because the Panthers, cost a little bit less. And Onord, if he keeps the pressure up on multiple parts of the map, maybe he can stop the IS-2s from being so prevalent. But they are a big part of the 97th, and that's definitely something he's going to have to make use of. The off-map will be a real interesting one. The really strong, is it 132 mil rocket?
Yeah, they have that rocket off-map, which is the best off-map in the game, and it is really fun to watch, but it's horrible to be on the receiving end.
Yeah, it's absolutely nasty. But the infantry engagement was an interesting one you touched on. Yeah, the fanatical Panzergrenz are going to absolutely rip these Gavardia to shreds. Very easily. That's going to be nasty.
Yeah, and I will say I checked both decks out. Neither of them have built their decks very deep. Neither of them, both have 60, 70 infantry, so, if this goes into a long Maverick game, they're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel pretty quick.
All right, well, let's have a quick look at what Gonzo's getting down here on the top side. He's got the ZIS-2 and the 2 Gavardia DP. Further down, we're going to be seeing a sniper, the Dosor, the 2 Gavardia DP, and the IS-1. Maxim is going to probably be covering the open with a couple of snipers, ZIS-2, leader with a couple of Gavardia DP, the Dosor, and the T-34 76 1943 on the bottom side. What do you think about that?
Pretty standard setup here. He's actually, it doesn't look like he's looking to push any flank really hard or anything, just kind of an even setup for him.
Yeah, I like the use of these Dosor. I think they're going to be something that he can use to maybe pin down some of the Panzergrenz at range to stop them being effective once his Gavardia move forwards. But let's have a quick look at what Onord's getting down. He's got the PaK-40 on the top side with the MG42, some Panzergrenz and the 233. Another 233 heading into the town with another PaK-40 MG42. Panzergren, Pioneer, Grille. Towards the center, we're going to be seeing a Panther D at the start with a Flak 36 to cover it. There's going to be the MG42 and a Beobachter. And on the bottom side, 2 Panzergrens to cover off.
Yeah, I will say, so we have an early P2R from Gonzo. I have found this super interesting. A few months ago, you never saw recon planes in anything. They were very questionable to use. And now, looking through a lot of pro players' decks, everyone's using recon planes. I think that buff from a few months back to recon planes really put them back into the meta.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. The PE2 in this case does get a nice amount of information there at the start from just that quick run. He can see that the Panther D is going to be coming in to push the center route, and the MG42 is going to cause him to probably be quite cautious with his Maxim. So I think these recon helicopters, planes, not quite there yet, are very useful indeed.
So the 233 picked off a transport in the town before Onord could even get in, and Gonzo, excuse me. And this is going to be key to the beginning of the game, is how Onord uses these 233s to establish his advantage.
Yeah, that would have been the Gonzo Dozo going down there, so that's a pretty nasty loss actually for Gonzo, because I was just mentioning how those can really help with both the machine gun and the sniper. That can pin down infantry at range quite nicely for him. He still has the sniper to help him out, and the IS-1 looking for the 233 kill there, but Onord nicely microing that out the way.
The Panther did get a penetration on the T-34 down south, and obviously it's going to dominate that open area for the time being at least. And Gonzo's going to have to wait at least 2 ticks to bring in anything heavier to fight that Panther.
Yeah, the Zis-2 is going to struggle to penetrate it at range. The APCR, yes, it has a lot of penetration, but you can only fire that within the 1,000 meter range, which isn't really short. And the 1,750 meter range on the standard AP shell, you got to be lucky to get a side shot really in order to do any damage to a Panther at that range.
Yep. Looks like this IS-1 might take a shot here at the grill, and it does, and it misses that first one.
I think it went for the shot onto the MG because it was out of range.
Yep, you're right. Sorry about that.
The IS-1 only has the 1,750 meter range at the end of the day.
I always forget that.
Might not want to be too close to the Pack 40 though. It could be very risky.
These Pioneers are going to take out this Gavardia DP quite easily.
Yep, did they get their grenade off? They did, but nice micro from Gonzo to get that out of there in time. MG42 coming under sniper fire. The MG42 should beat a sniper squad at range, but I think he's just a little bit worried about the second one on the bottom side maybe getting into range.
Really
going to just face tank this Pack 40.
Oh yeah, that's hey, I like his brass. I will note really quick for new players, you saw the Pioneer throw that grenade, and the grenade did no damage to the Gavardia, because once a unit throws its grenade, you can hop out of the building and basically dodge the explosion.
Yeah, just make sure that you move after it's thrown, not before it's thrown. Otherwise, it will follow you.
Yes, it's like a little homing beacon. It will literally follow your guys. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, so we got the Avtos now up against the Pioneers once again. Grenade is thrown. Avtos jump back a building,
and he dodges.
And they're perfectly fine. Yeah, it's a nice little micro thing that people have to do instead of Division 2. Keeps things a little bit more exciting, but generally across the board, a very slow start to this game.
Yeah, Nord has the point lead here. He is making a move down south with his 4 Panzer Grenadier squads, which should pretty easily overwhelm what Gonzo has there.
Yeah, so the Gonzo does are moving forwards with the 2 Gavardia DP. It really does depend. You can see like how the snipers really help out this engagement, like massively. The Panzer Guns get pinned down very fast. Also, the nice thing about this is, you know, they do kill the soldiers as well, which is really important against the fanatical infantry because you can't surrender them. Yep. So, big chunking onto those Panzer Guns on the bottom side there, and Onord does not like that engagement anymore.
Nope. And also, the other issue was he was in light cover versus their green cover, so that definitely swung things a bit. And there was a slight veterancy difference with Gonzo using his leader effectively to buff his troops. Yeah,
the 2-star vet versus the 1 vet. I wouldn't be surprised to see Onord want to get a leader down there. Although I'm not sure if he maybe has any in Phase B.
Yeah, I don't think he does. He has a PE2 coming in to bomb those troops in the center, but it does get scared off by that Flak 36 before he can. That
one
Flak
bot dropped.
Did he get one off? Yeah.
Yeah. They went it though.
That Flak 36 has been a huge investment for him at the beginning. It has really blunted Gonzo's early moves with his Air Force.
Yeah, both the recon being forced off every time, and yeah, the bomber not getting close to the MG42, so he's not going to be able to secure back that flag for the time being. But there is an IS-2 1944 on the way, so that path is going to have to back off, and those infantry in the open are going to certainly be taken out by the chonky HE shells eventually.
And we can see here that Onord brought in his own recon plane, as we mentioned earlier. These are pretty meta now. And we can see Gonzo bringing in his first AA piece of the game of 37mm in the center.
I think the Ju-88, like in this case, like only 40 points. So in order for Gonzo to shoot it down, he would have to invest in like a fighter, basically, which costs a significant amount more. And I think that's generally currently why they're quite popular.
So we have the Panzer IV getting into action down here in the south, helping to suppress those infantry as he makes another small push here in the south.
Yeah, the Panzergrens going to do a little bit better this time with the Panzer IV support, but the sniper's still trying to take out at least one of these Panzergrens. These snipers, when they do have the 2 vet, are actually quite resilient, so able to take out one there that was at the reservoir, so just quickly snipping that one very nicely.
2-2-3-1s are coming up from behind, so once they get into position, they will really chunk through these infantry in a hurry, though.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely a hard time soon for Gonzo's infantry. The T-34 is making a move down to help support this, but with one of the Panzergrens actually getting into the tree line, it definitely makes things a lot more difficult, because when things start to get pinned down, there's risk of surrender now.
Well, and let's not forget that T-34 has already taken a hit, so if the Panzer IV and the T-34 brawl, it's only going to take one hit for that Panzer IV to kill it.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. In the mid, Gonzo's going for this little push. The Guardia DP and the Rasvedosor moving for the flag on the hill, covered by the IS-2. Grilla in the town is currently fire positioning on some of that infantry as well to whip it after they took out Pioneer.
Panther D just landed a hit on the IS-1 in a little combat there, so that's got one hit on it as well now.
Yeah, Panther D pretty good at range against those IS-1s, because it does have the range advantage that the IS-1 obviously getting caught out there. But on the bomb side, 2-3-1 still moving forward, not quite capturing the flag. He just about manages to hold on to it. 12 to 12 now. Back
the
does go down in the open.
Gavardia DP is going after the mortar half track in the center. This would be a huge kill. Oh, but it looks like he's going to get suppressed before he can. That would have been, whew.
When have you seen PTRDs be reliable, though? Let's be honest.
I mean, if you're going to kill something, with it, a mortar half track would do it.
Yeah, that would be quite a nice kill to get. But the 2-3-3s are there. They're going to be forcing the Guardia back. That's going to be the flag back in the hands of Onord for now. And he's able to move the Panther just far enough forward so that he can capture the flag whilst not being in line of sight of the IS-2.
We have a second Panther D coming in the south, and I'm going to take a guess that is going to go for a flank on that IS-2. Gonzo's already falling back. He probably saw it with his PE-2 flying over.
Yeah, this is something I mentioned at the start with the open ground. You know, unless Gonzo can get an IS-2 to cover on the bot, then the Panther's going to have an easy time forcing that IS-2 back in the mid due to risk of side shot.
Yep.
But meanwhile, on the bottom side, the Panzer IV did take out the T-34, so that's finally gone.
And the bomber took out some.
Going to be replacing it.
Yep, and the bomber took out some infantry of Onord's there, so he's down to basically one Panzergren, so he's going to have a hard time holding this.
3 T-34s on the way now.
Oh, okay.
So one Panzer IV-J will probably get taken out. 2-3-1 really can't do anything against those T-34s, so that's nice. It'll be really up to the Panther to stop these in their tracks on the road. So if it can get into position, maybe in the light cover there. That's for Dozor in the middle being poked by the 2-3-3.
Throws
it's
down
cheeky how you
smoke.
can have recon squads in the open sometimes
and not
they
see.
just don't get spotted, but the 2-3-3 recon vehicle is perfect for taking care of that.
A FW-190 coming in here, getting scared off by that 37 mil pretty immediately.
Yeah, the Focke-Wulf almost got the strafe and run off, but the 37's in a good position there to cover off this bottom side, just like the 37 of an Onord in the middle. The JU-188 not really getting too much information, but we'll see the T-34s coming, I suppose, and also the IS-2 rolling across the hill from the ridge. The nice play from Gonzo here, I think. It's a good idea for him to get this onto the bottom side, because it makes it a lot less likely that he's going to get side shot.
Now, Onord falling back. This 2 just took out the 2-3 and just takes out the Panzer IV as well. So unfortunately for Onord, his southern push here is basically disintegrated, and he's now almost defenseless.
Yeah, nice play with this 2 there to get both of those. And now the Gavardi is going to be making their play back towards that tree line, and the sniper's still in the tree line, so he knows that it's not too full of infantry, so he's going to be trying to take that back.
Panther D moving up here to support as well now.
Yeah, 2-3-3, 2-3-1, Panther D. The Panther D, again, got to stop these T-34s from getting into position, but Gonzo's going to be able to move these all the way around the bottom side of the map here. So
here comes the IS-2.
Another one.
Coming down the road here, let's see if it starts to brawl off with this Panther D. They do not see each other yet. He's too deep in the woods.
Yeah, if you look at the line of sight from the Panther D, you can see that it's quite short. So the IS-2 not really going to have a chance there to get a shot on target. But there is now a third Panther D on the field for Onord, so more toys to play with when it comes to trying to take out that IS-2. But a second IS-2 is on the way now for Gonzo, so I think the longer that this builds up, the more it's going to kind of fall in favor of Gonzo if he can keep his IS-2s alive.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch these two players jockey with their heavy tanks, and I definitely want newer players to take note of how to use heavy tanks this way. You don't want to be overly aggressive with them. You have to be careful, but if you can properly jockey them around, you can get so much value out of them and stop the opponent from ever really moving forward.
Yeah, decent bombing strike on the bottom side, killing those Panzergrens, and it's going to hopefully allow the Panzergrens to move up again for Gonzo, but Ju-188 coming in again for another quick recon. Looking at what Gonzo's got, sees the second IS-2 I expect on its way.
In the center, a Schwimmwagen MG just got deleted, and the Gavardi DP lose decisively against the Panzergrens. The IS-1's taking shots from the Panther D again and immediately falls back, but before he gets a second shot off. And unfortunately in the town, it looks like Onord had lost his forward infantry, and they're now just quietly staring at each other.
Yeah, the town's become very quiet. The guerrilla stopped firing, and now I think both players are really just focusing on not letting their tanks be caught out right now. It's super important because it could be a huge swing. Like if one of the Panthers goes down, if one of the IS-2s goes down, like that would be massive. But a third IS-2 now on the way for Gonzo towards the town on the top side. That's this is getting pretty nasty for Onord to deal with.
Yeah, and now I see a Wurfrahmen, 280 mil. This is an effective weapon against those IS-2s. I'm assuming he's going to really be leaning on these to try to kill some of those.
Yeah, the
IS-2 just took a hit from the Panther.
Oh, cheeky side shot from Onord. Now that's going to be a prime target for this Wurfrahmen now, because it's already taken damage, so only needs maybe one rocket to land nearby, and that's going to get popped. So that's a bad position for Gonzo to be in. He's going to have to keep that right back in the center and try and use the one on the south and one in the north to really flank some of this central armor.
And I believe, looking at Gonzo's deck earlier, I think he only has 3 IS-2s, so he has to really be extra careful. We're probably going to see his play get even more conservative now, because if he starts losing these, then he's really going to be in trouble against these Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers could certainly start building up if that's the case, and yeah, if one of these IS-2s goes down, that's going to be really nasty. On the bottom side,
they're moving up. IS-2s are moving forward.
They are moving up towards these Panther Ds, going to force Onord to move all of these units back. Guila still manages to get a nice shot onto the Maxim though. Very nice indeed. Still 14 to 10 for Onord though, so Onord in a good position. You were saying earlier how just before we started recording that this map is definitely more favored to the blue side because of those 50-50 flags, and it seems to be showing here.
Yeah, because, you know, Onord really doesn't need to push up very far to capture these flags, and at this point all he needs is a single tick. If he can just keep holding this single tick, as you know, as long as that's going to be, it's going to be so much harder for Gonzo to push up far enough to actually capture one of the blue side's flags.
Yeah, nice bombing strike into the town, does pin down both of the pioneers, but not going to be as effective as a standard bombing strike because those are fanatical infantry, so he's not going to be able to surrender them.
First Wurfrahmen. We have our first 280 mil strike here, going for that IS-2 in the south. Let's see how that lands. Some good hits.
Rockets, yeah. Well, not any direct hits just yet.
No,
yeah.
The first 2 look good, and then they spread out, unfortunately. And the Panther D goes down. Ooh.
Nice kill on the Panther D there. It hits the mark with really like high suppression on that, so that must have been a very low percentage on that engagement. But that's a nice kill because it kind of takes away some of that pressure from that light cover that the middle IS-2 would be under if it were choosing to move forwards. But Whitman moving around on the bottom side now. Don't think that's going to have been spotted yet.
A second Wurfrahmen coming in as well, so he's definitely leaning into that strategy to try to take these IS-2s out. He's now damaged 2 of them, at least one a little bit, and the other quite significantly. And he's taken out at least one of the T-34s in the south with his Panzer IV.
Yeah, the second Wurfrahmen going to be really crucial here. That's definitely going to be looking for that kill onto the IS-2 in the mid. He's also trying to mortar it with the 81mm mortar. Like the IS-2 did already take, what, 8 damage, right, from the Panther.
Yep.
So it's got 4 health left. So those mortar rounds can try and chip away at that. Any direct mortar fire is going to do like probably 1 damage, 1 or 2 damage, depending on how close it is. But yeah, that IS-2's got to be real careful.
Now, a 152mm off-map is coming down in the center from Gonzo, and he has a push coming with some Strafniki and Avtomachiki, which is going to make good progress because Onord doesn't have a lot there in the center.
Yeah, the Pioneers do get bombed out. One of them is still full strength but falling back. I have to see if he can make a little bit of ground there. The Grilla is ready to strike at the end of the road, so that could actually get pretty nasty for some of Gonzo's infantry.
Yes, down south as well, we have a little bit of a push from Gonzo, but it's been really quickly thrown back by that Tiger and the recon cars.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty good, these 233s so far, and they're a very high value unit in these competitive decks. And you always see these 233s. I think people always even calling them to be nerfed a little bit as well because they are slightly cheaper than most combat recon.
Yeah, I can see the argument for it. I mean, they're not in tons of decks, and I would argue a lot of the decks that are in are like armored decks that maybe aren't super meta right now, but there's definitely some where, like they're very, very strong, like 17th SS, for example.
Yeah, Verflamen on the bottom side is aiming towards where the IS-2 was, but Onord's going to be holding fire on that. I think it's going to wait for the IS-2 to maybe sneak around there again, and then it's going to just automatically be able to fire immediately. A really, really nice play there.
In the center, Gonzo continues to push forward aggressively, and there's no more infantry once these Pioneers die, and they're dead. So this is a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, Gonzo moving up with the Tankos as well, straight into the MG42. The MG42 can't do anything about those transports because they're armored. So it's going to be able to get right on top of that, capture that flag, and now it's going to be a 13-11 for Gonzo. Tiger on the bottom side.
We have some artillery. Yeah, we have some. It took out one T-34 already. We have some artillery dueling going on here between the Hummels and the F-22s, which obviously very much favors the Hummels because he can fire and move quite easily.
Yeah, so the Hummels armored, also have a much bigger gun, so the F-22s are going to be worried, that's for sure. But the IS-2 are pushing very aggressively on the top side right now. There's going to be the T-34 moving up with 2 Su-85s, and if these Su-85s get in close range with the Panther Ds, that could spell disaster for them as well. That Panther D's getting in a really scary spot because the Su-85s are pushing up from one side, the IS-2 is going to be shooting it from the other side. Verflamen is firing away in the center.
Panther D goes down.
The IS-2, and yeah, the Panther D is gone. This is getting really nasty for Onord right now. Big push.
Yeah, this all of a sudden things are falling apart for him.
Yeah, Strafniki managed to take out the AA on the top side. Pack 40 also goes down.
Pack 40 up
one of
in the
center.
center.
Su-85s did die.
Yep, it's Pack 40 in the center engaging that IS-2 with APCR. Unfortunately has not penetrated yet. Did kill the shooter, but now it's revived.
Yeah, very low. And it's going to get taken out by the IS-2 there. Well, IS-1, sorry. IS-1 cleans it up. So not really much to deal with this armor on the top side now. No Panther really there to hold up. But 2 Panther Ds now coming in from Onord. Looks like Onord got caught sleeping if he's floating that many points.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Unfortunately, this Verflamen strike is going to miss that IS-2. He did cut it off early, it would appear, seeing that he did not have the good shot on it. And it does, I will say, it looks like Gonzo's push has lost a little momentum. He's kind of trying to consolidate, but he is overextended a bit.
Yeah, well, with the Su-85 and the T-34 going down, that single Su-85 on its own, it's going to struggle to deal with the Panthers on its own, and did just take a penetration there from the Panther D. But it was a 15-9 for a little while. He managed to pick up that double tick, but Onord's now making plays in the bottom side where he has the armored advantage and has taken out another. Well, he actually took out one of the IS-2s. Yeah, the IS-2 1944 on the bottom side's gone down.
Oh, it must have been another Verflamen strike.
I think his Whitman must have sideshot it or something
on
the road as it was moving down there.
That's possible as well.
Oh, Panther D going down in the middle. Another one popped.
Oh.
So yeah, Gonzo is losing one IS-2, but he's taken out quite a few Panthers now, that's for sure. And with the off-map landing on the far side of the town, that's not going to be nice when these new Pioneers arrive for Onord.
No, and we've now moved into phase C, so both players' ability to react and really make huge moves is kind of over now. They're going to have to start working with kind of what they have on the field, with piecemeal reinforcements coming in bit by bit.
I really like this Tanko that Gonzo's got, like a little bit further up, just behind the lines. That's really going to catch out some of these Panzergrens if they start falling back. Looks like Onord lucky that the off-map came down. Oh, unlucky that the Panther D got taken out.
Oh, that IS-2. I gotta say, I feel like Gonzo's been getting really lucky with some of these IS-2 shots, because they're not, at least when I use them, they don't appear to be that accurate.
Ooh,
and the IS-2 goes down.
Yeah, the Hummels managed to land a direct hit onto that already damaged IS-2 in the center. So that's taken care of, and maybe the luck's starting to switch back in Onord's favor. He's only got one left to kill, and with the double Panther D on the hill, at that close range, he could potentially try and trade for it. But the closer you get to an IS-2, the more deadly they become, because it's always a one-shot kill with that 12 damage.
Yep. He's dropping a off-map here on the hill. Obviously, the only thing there, we know the only thing there is the Panther D, and I'd have to imagine he probably knows that as well. That Verframen taking a shot at where the IS-2 used to be, but is unfortunately no longer.
Yeah, a little bit odd there with Onord's Verframen strike. I think probably just targeted it and then forgot to cancel it. But that off-map strike from Gonzo definitely has the potential to make these Panther Ds fall back if enough shots land nearby them. We are going to see, hopefully, the big old rocket off-map at some point. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah,
down south, Onord has made some good headway into that woods and stuff, but these bombers are going to kill his infantry, and he's basically just going to be left with these 2 recon cars and Whitman.
Oh, the Focke-Wulf 190 just managed to shoot down that PE2. I was a little worried it wasn't going to get on target there for a second, but with the Strafniki coming into the trees, they are going to capture back that flag on the bottom side.
That's definitely a good kill. Gonzo's made a lot of use out of those PE2s. They're very, very strong, and they come in really fast, they get out really fast, and they have pretty big payloads, so...
Yeah, it's nice that they drop their bombs nice and high up, rather than diving, like the IL-2s and stuff like that, so that's really good. On the top side, T-34's helping with the engagement against Pioneers, but that Pak-40's sneaking up on it. Might be able to get a good shot in there.
If he's got the APCR off, hopefully he remembered to turn that off, because otherwise... Oh, he did not.
But I don't think it will matter enough.
Depending on how...
Will probably still kill it.
All right, there you go. Kind of depends on how the crits line up. You know, if you get a good critical, then the APCR feels better, but if you don't, then it takes another shot, and that could matter.
Yeah, the G188 still coming in over and over again. The PE2 is still up for Gonzo, both of them still using their recon to get this information. It's interesting to see them just constantly bring them out throughout the game, but yeah, 14-10 for Gonzo, still sitting, well, he's still behind on tickets, but ahead in flags. On the bottom, he's got to really take care of Whitman. If he can get Whitman out of the picture on this bottom side, that will open up this bottom side big time for Gonzo.
Now, his best chance here, he's got 2 Zis-2s and, of course, the Su-85. Other than that, though, his T-34s have no chance, and the Strafniki, of course, have no chance as well. So he definitely needs to try to lure that Tiger into a position to kill it, because otherwise he is going to have a very hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, the Zis-2 sneaking up on that bottom side is really, really nice. So he'll have to just wait for that to push forwards with some infantry and then maybe try and take it out. We'll want to maybe get rid of these armored cars in the meantime. That Strafniki taking so much free damage by not falling back.
Yeah, it tried, and now the Guerrilla is taking out the Strafniki that are moving forward. And Gonzo has to be careful with these. He does have a limited number of these Strafniki, and these are obviously the standout infantry of the 97th, and by losing them, he's really left with quite inferior Gavardia.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. I think from what we've seen, it's not going to matter too much for the infantry engagement, because both players are using like artillery and fire support. And speaking of artillery, the 132mm off map's going to be coming in, so we'll be seeing that, I think, heading towards the top side rather than the bottom. So it looks like it's going to try and secure those town flags.
And you can see here why I know a lot of people in the community do not like this map, because you can see how far Gonzo's pushed forward, and he's only been able to capture 2 flags despite those huge pushes forward, just because of how far back the blue flags are settled from the 50% line.
Yeah, and with that being the case, like, and now the IS-2 going down in the middle, Onord's almost putting pressure over the center flag here. Only that Cavadia DP in the tree line at the back is really stopping that from being capped right now. All it would take is like one infantry squad to walk forwards and take that.
Yeah, and Gonzo's basically now he's finally moving, and his IS-2 had fallen all the way back to his little patch of trees. And it looks like he's going to try to engage these Panther Ds.
Sorry, on the bottom side, Whitman gets
taken
out by the Zis-2, and the T-34s deal with some of the light armor there. So whilst the Strafniki are still being hammered by this Grilla, there's some good progress made on Onord's armor.
Yeah, that is a huge kill there. And here comes that. Really, he's using up the one shot from the 132 rocket on that spot. That is interesting.
Yeah, that is a really, really interesting choice for the off map. But if it kills both the Panthers, well, then it would be worth it.
That'd be great.
We'll have to wait and see. But
here we go.
It's coming down. Is it going to do the trick? Onord's only got a certain amount of time to choose where he wants to go with these Panthers. As soon as they start to get pinned and start to fall back, well, they're going to be much slower.
And there you go.
They're not going to go where he wants them to, and, well, maybe they'll get taken out. Well,
there goes one.
To the edge. Yeah, one's gone down. The other looks like it might survive, so not really the best value out of that 132, I would say.
Yeah.
Just taking one Panther doesn't really seem worth it.
And we're back to a 12-12 here, and despite Gonzo's got more frontline units, I mean, I would say significantly more frontline units, but the backline units of Onord are in a much stronger position with those Hummels and the mortars and the Wurfrahmen, so we'll see if he can leverage that long-range power into a victory.
Ooh. Nice Panther kill there by the IS-2 in the mid. The Wurfrahmen's looking for a rocket strike on this bottom side. Potentially onto the Su-85, looks like, and the T-34.
Yeah. He does get it.
Yeah, T-34 goes down. Su-85 gets forced back and taken out by the Panzer IV. The Zis-2 also getting killed by the Panzergren. That was absolutely devastating, actually, for Gonzo's push.
Yeah.
He really, really lost a lot out of that.
He might take out this Panzer IV, though, here, and he does with the one-man Zis-2 down there.
In the center, this T-34-85 has managed to get quite far up towards the center, and that could have a good chance at close range with its APCR shell to take out this Panther, especially considering it did get hit quite heavily by the off map.
It is damaged, so he should, and he could also actually, if he positions it correctly, could cut off reinforcements into this town as well.
Yeah, that would be really, really good. Stop some of these fanatical infantry from getting in there, because they're such a pain to get rid of.
The T-34 is going to get off the first shot on the Panther and probably... Oh, nope, it does not kill it, which I thought it would. And it goes down.
D with the one shot. That was nice. But 15-9 for Gonzo now.
Swinging it back around. Let's see if he can finally take out this PE-2 with his fucking wolf.
Yeah, the fucking wolf might just get there. So close.
I think it's gonna get suppressed.
On target.
No. Does take out the Zis-2 in the south with his Panzer Grenadiers, and he's kind of been able to. Onord's kind of been able to stabilize this southern push, and he's got two SDKFZ 250/9s coming in, but this PE-2 is probably going to severely injure his infantry.
Yeah, that's going to at least force them back off the flag for the time being. Cavadias up on the hill are being, well, I was going to say shot at by the Panther D, but the Panther D is struggling to get his turret down.
Oh, and it's taking a side shot from the IS-2. Oh, no.
Eventually, although the IS-2 is reloading, so no Panther D going down just yet. But yeah, nice bombing strike on the bottom side saves Gonzo for the time being.
And you can see how quick Onord is on dropping his Hummels on top of these IS-2s. I mean, it's already getting hit by artillery. That is such fast reaction time with artillery.
Yeah, it's got them probably on a control group, and just using that control group just quickly fire position wherever it needs them. One thing that was really nice for a long time is having the Beobachter in the middle as a use of recon infantry, but with the radio. It's not often you see like the Beobachter be used, particularly in team games. People just use Aufklärer and then bring a radio unit separate. But using that in the center was really, really good. The Cavadia ended up just running into it by accident and killing it off. Well, that was really, really helping him get the corrected shot onto the IS-2 for a long time.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to check when you're building your divisions. Depending on how the point layout is for your artillery tab, sometimes it's way more efficient to bring in a Beobachter over an Aufklär because it costs way more in the recon tab than it does in the artillery tab, and obviously the Beobachter is more useful with the radio.
Yeah, particularly in a 1v1 where there's a lot more focus on recon vehicles and light armor in the recon tab than using that for recon infantry. On the bottom side, these 259s trying to make some progress against the Strafniki, but that 37
doing the work.
Pushing them back for the time being.
Does take out a Strafniki.
Is going to try and sneak around the corner there and get some kills in. There's not any armor here actually that can stop this T-34 right now.
Nope. He's in a lot of trouble actually. If this thing really chases, I mean, unless they somehow suppress it really fast, but I don't think they're going to be able to manage.
Yeah, it's got to the point in the game now where Onord is going to have to wait like 2 ticks per Panther, and that's really, really hard when your opponent's already got like an IS-2 on the board. And Gonzo, he doesn't have to wait so long for these T-34-85s because they're only 100 points. So he is bringing another one of those 2-star T-34s to the center now.
Once again, you can see still though, despite Gonzo's huge, control of territory, he's still only at a 13-11.
Yeah, Strafniki on the bottom side are starting to get picked off. 259 able to basically go ham on these Strafniki and the Verflammen.
The T-34
also firing away.
The T-34-85 about to take out that 250/9, so he's going to lose a little bit of armored power there. His Verflammen strikes from Onord have been pretty off target. I mean, I know he did kill the one IS-2 with it, but since then he's been unable to really land a good hit on much of anything.
Look at this, Gonzo using his 132 more off-map vehicle on the top side to reveal the Panzergrenz, just to see what's on that flag. And he's going to come in and bomb it, and that will give him the flag on that top side if it manages to get the kill.
Cheeky.
So that's a nice little play. Gavardia on the bottom side, going to be unloading in the face of the Panzergrenz, and the 259 is pretty much out of ammo on its 20 mil now. But that just goes to show how long that 259 has been allowed to shoot infantry if it's almost out of ammunition.
Yeah. T-34-76 Rozvedka is going to take out this 233. There it goes, and now Onord's basically defenseless down there.
Yeah, this is looking like Onord's kind of run his course in this game. There's no more armor coming in off the edge of the map, and just this one Panther D that's in the town. That's all that's left, and it's going to be trying to probably help out with the T-34-85 in the middle, I would expect, but there's a lot of infantry and other things that might distract it if he doesn't turn off the HG.
Yeah, he does have a Panther. Yeah, the Panther D in the center there. It's about all the armor he's really got left. That gorilla doesn't really count down there as armor per se. So that's all he's really got. He's even running out of ammo for his sizable artillery brigade there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Hummels be used quite early on and throughout the game. I'm not sure if they've entirely paid off. Like, they did kill one IS-2, the Verflammen's killing the other. But I think you're right about these, like, Verflammen's really not doing as much as they probably should have in this game. Gonzo's got the 132mm off map up his sleeve, and usually that can do a lot of work, but Gonzo kind of only took out a Panther with that.
Yeah.
Whereas Onord, he's got the 280mm, and he needs to definitely get some good hits with them.
Yeah, but if you look, I mean, he bought 2 of these Verflammen, and then of course you need basically 2 supply trucks. That's 208. That's 360 points he's put into these Verflammen, and really all he's killed is one IS-2 with it. So it hasn't been a very profitable trade for him, and it has definitely left him a little short on board. I think the Hummels have done a little bit more. They've definitely done a good bit of suppression, and they did take out that one IS-2. So unfortunately, I just don't think he was able to make the use out of these that he really needed to.
Yeah, well, we'll have to. It's still kind of, I want to say order playable, but I don't see much more infantry coming in from Onord either. So
no, it's like I mentioned at the beginning of the game. Neither player really built their deck super duper deep. So I would imagine he's probably starting to hit the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah, whilst Gonzo's bringing in 6 units of Gavardia, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. 259 is going to get some shots in potentially onto the Avto, but the Zis-2 trying its hardest to kill this 259. There we go, finally. On 3rd shot, manages to get there. Pioneers, though, at close range with the Gavardia.
Onord calls it there.
Onord calls it, yeah. Gonzo wins 35 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, not too big of a spread here in KD. I mean, we definitely see the advantage to Gonzo with 3,015 kills versus 2,650 in losses. If we hop over to the kills here, his IS-2 did kill a good number of things, so he got the value out of that first IS-2. The second IS-2 also killed a number of things. So, I mean, Gonzo did a great job of actually getting value out of his IS-2s. I think that's a problem for a lot of players is they call these big tanks in, and then they don't actually kill anything.
Yeah, he was getting particularly lucky with some of the long-range shots. You know, they only have, what, 45% accuracy? I think it's 40% accuracy. And so, whilst they will 100% penetrate almost every time and one-shot kill, the accuracy can sometimes really be a pain. But with an IS-2 getting 3 Panther kills, you can't complain at all.
Oh, no. Yeah, and you know, when you think about accuracy in this game, rate of fire is a huge part of that because, you know, the faster you fire, the better the chance you have of actually hitting. So the fact that the IS-2 is firing, 2 shots per minute means that the fact he got that many good hits is really quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 or 4 rounds. I think it's 3 rounds per minute.
Is it 3? Yeah.
4 with veterancy. But...
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of the super slow version. I forget which one that is.
Yeah. But either way, it was just a matter of Onord not finding those IS-2 kills fast enough, I think. And the Panthers, whilst they did get, I think there's only 1 side shot in that.
Yeah.
The artillery was supposed to make up for that, but it just didn't. And I think that's really where we see the points disparity in the kills and losses.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look down the kills for Onord here, I mean, his Panthers really didn't do as much as they needed to. He really didn't get more value. He paid for more for every Panther than they killed. Like, no Panther outkilled its price, which is rough. And that's why Panthers aren't super duper popular in 1v1 right now. It's hard to get value out of them. It really is. For whatever reason, it's just hard to get the value you put into them out of them.
Yeah, I mean, in this sort of situation where you want to engage like an IS-2, you want to be close because that's where you can penetrate at close range. But then you also, if you're close, you increase the accuracy of the IS-2, and then the IS-2 one-shots you. So it's like, what can you do? And then anything that's like cheaper than it can usually kill it anyway. You know, so like a T-34-85, for example, is like really cost efficient against Panthers right now. So you're left in this weird predicament where you can't kill things that are bigger than you, and you can trade evenly with things that are cheaper. And it's like, it just always feels bad.
Yeah, that is the issue with them right now. They're just in a really weird spot. They don't do anything cost efficiently, essentially, and it puts them, it puts them behind. And I think that really did hurt Onord here. And he really tried to make up for those weaknesses. I think he played a great game. I just think that big push at the end of B that Gonzo did really kind of broke his back. And from that point on, he was on the back foot.
Yeah, I felt like Gonzo really played that like a Maverick deck and hit at the perfect time with the points that he had, and really did a number on that top side. It was great to see. Anything else you'd like to see?
I don't think so. Great game to both of them. Excited for game 2.
Yeah, that's it for game 1. 1-0 to Gonzo. Let's see if Onord can bring one back in game 2, but that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have a fantastic day.
Goodbye.